All right, welcome to my FX Buddies, the podcast. And I say podcast because there are multiple mediums on which you can enjoy this content. So, my favorite one, the way that I suggest you take in this content, is to go to the blog. And the blog is parked at myfxbuddies.blogspot.com, but I know that's a lot to remember or to type in. So wherever you are engaging with this content, look for a prompt of more info, intro, description, something of that nature. Click on it. If you're on a mobile device, you may have to click twice. And then a box opens that has a link to the blog, the free blog. You don't have to put your email address in, and I'm not selling anything. All right, so another good day. Iraq had a stellar day today. And as I'm looking at Sudani, watching, I watched the TV. Matter of fact, I need to get up and go turn it back on. The internet was down for a bit. But anyway, when he goes places, he's like, I don't want to say the belle of the ball. He's like the main attraction. Um, the reverence that is afforded to him is um, out of this world. And I've been watching the prime ministers, um, who was before Kazemi. So there was the one that they made step down, Mahdi. There was Mahdi, and then I think Kazemi, and then now Sudani. But see, we Sudani has been there the longest, right? He's doing a full, I think, 4-year term. Kazemi only did like a year and a half, maybe 2 years. But anyway, so let me get started on this. Okay. Again, thank you. I want to thank you. I think I got a couple new subscribers. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the thumbs up. You guys are awesome. Really good comments too. Okay. So, today was Monday. It was Monday, the 15th day of our suddenly September, right? Okay, so the title of the star article here is Dollar Wars and Dinar Drama, Iraq's Long Road to Stability. Okay, so now this is the beginning of the actual article. If you click this link here when it's live, you will go and that it'll say exchange dilemma. Well, it'll come up in Arabic, but a lot of these things today immediately know you need it translated. All right. So from Kazemi, so this is Kazemi right here. Matter of fact, he was the prime minister prior to Abadi. But I'm not sure why they have dollars there. I guess because I know Kazemi worked under dollars. But for the most part, Sudani's been dinars, but whatever. So from Kazemi's devaluation to Sudani's platform, the Iraqi Dinar's journey through 5 turbulent years. All right. So what is important about this? This is a long article. I'm going to read 4 paragraphs maybe. But of course, you should read it. And it's very easy. I shouldn't say that. Okay, if you're new, I have reading comprehension skills. Poor reading comprehension. I have issues. Reading comprehension issues. So I usually have to read things like 3, 5, 8 times, right? But then also some of these articles seem easy for me to read because I've been reading them for so long. So even so the comprehension may not be an issue, but the topic, right? Or the language. So I have to remind myself. Not all of you guys have been reading articles for 8 years or however long it's been. So All right, since the end of 2020, when Mustafa Kazimi's government decided to raise the official exchange rate from 1180 to 1450 dinars to the dollar, and that wasn't even the parallel market. That was the official rate. Okay? Iraq has been on a volatile economic trajectory that continues to this day. This decision, taken at the height of the oil price collapse, temporarily saved the general budget but opened the door to a wave of inflation that undermined the dinar's long-standing stability. So remember, there was a day when oil dropped it dropped down to like 37 cents a barrel or something like that. It didn't stay there long, but it went down. Yeah, that was during Kazemi's time. But they had all these, they had debt and all these things. And I still don't understand it, but somehow devaluing the money helped. They got to pay their debt off with lower valued money. I don't get it. I know some people understand that. I just don't. I can read it. I can understand the words and what the words are saying, but it still makes no sense to me, right? You know what I mean? But yeah, so this decision of with the arrival of Sudani's government, the central bank took a corrective step in early 2023, reducing the rate to 1320 in an attempt to alleviate popular pressure. However, the crisis later deepened with the introduction of an electronic platform that linked transfer transactions to direct oversight by the U.S. Federal Reserve. So, 1320 again is the official rate, right? That's what they keep telling us. That's what's on the CBI website. That's what they keep telling us. Okay. Then, although the platform was abolished this year, the market has not regained its balance, with the gap between the new official rate of 1144 dinars to the dollar. Did you hear me? Those of you who are listening, I'll read it again. Although the platform was abolished this year, actually November of last year, but anyway, the market has not regained its balance, with the gap between the new official rate of 1144 dinars to the dollar and the parallel market rate remaining at least 10 to 12 points, reflecting the continued structural flaws in monetary policy management. So, they just told us the real, not the real rate, but the somewhere that we can't see. They're using an official rate of 1144, and that's still a crappy rate. And remember, there were a couple of people out there saying, some brothers and a man that likes to sing, were saying, no, they're telling us, our contacts over there are telling us that it's 1100 or 1000, but we couldn't see it, right? And now here, for some reason, in this article, they're allowed to say it. Not only do they say it once, but they say it twice. In this context, Abdul Rahman Shakli, a financial and economic expert, explained to the news that Iraqi foreign exchange market is witnessing significant fluctuations in the dollar exchange rate against the dinar, which has direct repercussions on the economic and commercial landscape. So, if you think about how they're using this rate, we already know they have at least 2 sets of books. Now I'm thinking they may even have 3 or 4. So, in dealing with whatever deals they deal with, some of them they're using 1144. So think about all these contracts and everything that they're signing. And we keep saying it doesn't make sense. How can they be doing all these deals? There was, let me see. This article right here is on TradingView. I know you can't see it says Reuters, and remember this happened like twice before. But you know that's, if you're familiar with TradingView, you know that's their little logo thing. Iraq signs joint operation agreement with France, Qatar, and there's two more. They're not here though. They're not in this particular article, but they signed 4 really big energy deals with international companies. There's no way they're doing that at 1310 because it would be a huge deficit and a loss, right? So with this article coming out, and they did not refute it, it came out early this morning, still there. I think maybe it's time that they want that information out, right? Because they know we've jumped all over it. So here, patchwork. Okay, this, if you're going to read pieces, this segment here where it says patchwork procedures and limited treatments, that's a good, look, we're almost at 15 minutes already. That's how I think important this is. Okay, electronic platform and removal of restrictions. So they're showing you the phases they went through. And again, they have the same, although the platform was abolished this year, its impact remained with a gap of at least 10 to 12 points between the new official rate, 1144, and the parallel market. So also another thing, they're making even more money than we thought they were making, because we're thinking in the parallel market, they're making the difference between 1310 and whatever. Like right now, it's like 1430, 1424. But no, they're making the difference between 1144 and that. And then we wonder why there's some people who don't want who don't want the RE to happen. They don't want the parallel markets to go away. They're making buku bucks off ledger. Well, not ledger, but not being taxed under the radar, not being taxed, not even being registered, right? Whew. According to banking estimates, the abolition did not end actual reliance on informal channels, but rather restored activity to the parallel market and kept control away from the official institutions. And we know that. So with the articles coming out giving them a time frame, right? September 30th, they have to be off of those other means that they're doing business, and they have to be in line with the proper way to do business or shut down. I think it is coming to an end. Then here's monetary and trade policy. Yeah, so it's long, but it's good for those who like to read stuff like this. Exchange rate stability is, they talk about that all through here. So yeah. All right. So I'm just going to zoom through these now because this came out yesterday. Well, actually, this is a different thing, but Abadi's group, party, whatever, came out, coalition. His coalition came out yesterday and said they back Sudani for a second term, which is good. That, I don't know how many people they have, but that adds to, I mean, good for Sudani. Because for all we know, Sudani could be crooked. There's people who think he's crooked. You know, I don't know. I don't get into that. I just report the news. But I think it would be better for what we want. We want continuity. We want Sudani to just step right back in there and finish what he started. We don't need another new person making changes, and 6 months out, we're still waiting, right? That's not what we want. Now, is that what's best for Iraq? I don't know, right? But it's not what we want. But anyway, so he also stressed building balanced relations with the U.S., but Also has to be mutual respect. All right. Here's another one. Here's another contract. Hyundai ENC, whatever that means, wins $3.1 billion contract for a seawater treatment plant in Iraq. I tell you guys, I could go on. I could do an hour show just telling you the deals that they're getting. Oh, I didn't even mean to put this in here because see how funky it is? And it doesn't say anything. This is just tomorrow. So Parliament did try to meet today. They didn't have quorum. They waited an hour, hour and a half. Still no quorum. So they have another meeting tomorrow, but it probably won't happen either. Okay, so here is another article because the parallel market rate is creeping up again. So this is the kind of articles that start to come out. The rise of the dollar against the dinar raises concerns in Iraq. And this is from, I want to say, these are from Central Iraq. This Al-Qaeda and this, I can't say that name. I think they're Central Iraq plus Erbil. Erbil usually has the highest, see, 1430, 1429, but they put a little paragraph here. This rise comes at a time when Iraq is experiencing economic fluctuations and pressure on the local currency amid concerns about its impact on citizens' purchasing power. Ding, ding, ding. I always like when they're talking about the purchasing power. Perhaps they're going to do something to give them more purchasing power, right? The continued rise of the dollar raises questions about the stability of the dinar and the monetary policies of the Central Bank of Iraq, especially after recent waves of inflation. Observers believe that any further rise in the dollar could exacerbate the country's economic crisis and increase concerns among traders and investors about the future of Iraqi markets at a time when citizens are awaiting urgent measures from the financial authorities, urgent measures to halt the deterioration of the dinar's value. All right, so here are my one commercial. If you'd like to support my FX buddies, you could buy me a copy. That would be a live link when the blog is live. Cash App is always live and PayPal as well. Big or small, I appreciate it all. And thank you in advance for your generous support. Ding. All right. Now, this is what I was talking about. This is the other thing I'm going to spend. Well, not really. Okay, so they had this summit. But even though, look at all these, let's see, you can see all those flags. All those flags represent all the countries that are there. Why did Sudani give a speech? He was the main attraction. They were showing them all getting off of their plane. So they had, there was a line of what I presume to be Qataris because they were dressed in, I can't make it any bigger, but it's the white, whatever. Um, I'm sure there'll be a picture somewhere where I can show you. So there was a line of maybe 20 of them, and they very quickly shake his hand or just like wave to him or whatever. But then right after them, there was like 8 or 9 other world leaders. They were lined up to shake his hand, or they give their, they do the fake kisses on the cheeks. They used to do real ones prior to COVID. Oop, prior to but now they do fake ones. So I will be honest with you, I did not read these 25 points because this isn't my area of focus. But what I think is happening here is Qatar is supposed to meet with the US president again, and I think they're going to say here's our list of demands, and we want some of these. If you want us to de-escalate and not retaliate to, what happened, here's what we want. And yeah. And it's not really unreasonable. I kind of glanced over. They want modernization. They want hospitals. They want peace. They want not to be forced to believe the rainbow lifestyle. Uh, you know, um, things like that. So if you want to read that, you can. I put it there because I bet you someone is gonna read that. There's a couple of things in there. Look at Heshemite. They still call themselves the Heshemite. I love that. And there's those names in there that we can't say. The Strip and Ham and yeah. So then Sudani got to sit with who's this guy here? Yeah. The Crown Prince bin Salman, all those other things you have to say with his name. And he's just chilling. Oh, I think that's hilarious that we have kings. In this day, we have kings and a kingdom. So, yeah, who knows what they really talked about, but you can read this. And it still cracks me up. He's like, what, 40? That guy, the crown prince, even if that, right? And Sudani's probably like closer to 60. But here's this. You're sitting here next to this king that's like 20 years younger than you. Can you imagine that? I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, so it was very powerful how he was treated there. And I just think how he gets treated like that everywhere he goes, but then he tries to deal with us, and I wonder how we treat him. Ooh, look how big that is. So this just said new information on oil and domestic revenue, but there isn't. It just says the two biggest obstacles, they'll be removed soon. So tomorrow's another big day, hopefully, right? The Council of Ministers meeting should be had, and hopefully we'll get an answer on the oil and the jobs. However, I'm beginning to think that may be obsolete soon. Look at this, Iraq. We are moving to add new oil sources, and our exports exceed 40 countries. So here you are bickering back and forth with Turkey and, well, and Apicor, who's what, international. We still don't know the exact companies. It just says international companies, but I'm sure we have a few of those. But yep, so Singapore with this, that storage agreement, they will be reaching out to Asia and trying to sell and do deals with Asia. So you could read that if you like, and we could skip that for time's sake. Look at this guy. He got arrested. He had 177 bank cards loaded with cash, and they caught him. 177. I mean, couldn't you just try like 50? But I'm wondering how many other people get through, right? Or do they get through? Are they stopping all the crime? All the smugglers? I don't know, but they got him. And there are different types. You can see, maybe you can see Q card, key card, Q card, whatever. And then the different banks. And then just different ones. Yeah. So that will make the people happy. Lots of talk about the troops. The troops should be out in 2 weeks. Yeah, right. But yeah, but here's another twist. We are allocating money. It says here $61 million, but it's probably a fraction. That's probably a fraction of what we're really doing. To the Peshmerga forces. So we've pulled our money away from And look at the new department here. The U.S. Department of the three-letter word for aggressive maneuvers or conflict has set a budget of more than $960 billion for next year, including aid to Peshmerga. And look at this. Bala. There's 3 letters in front of that. But I thought they were a group that does bad things. Why are we funding them? And there it is in black and white. Yep. So that's our 2026 budget. Why is that in Iraq's news? You tell me. Okay. So here, let me see. There's none of the people I was describing, but so at this Doha summit, Sudani proposed a unified Arab Islamic stance and the formation of a broad coalition. So they want to make like their own, I feel they want to make like their own little NATO. So when one of them gets unfriendly things done to them, then they can all back each other. So we'll see if that happens. And here's another article about Somo plans to add new oil and gas raw materials and boost gas investment. So see, another energy platform, Asian markets. So that's another little article about what I was just saying earlier. Turkey may just negotiate or non-negotiate themselves right out of a contract. But anyway, and then look at this. Saudi Arabia, and this came out today. Saudi Arabia attracts Iraq's fastest growing digital commerce startup, and it's called Digital Zone. So little tiny Iraq has a platform where they can do, it has Ticket Zone, it has many apps. They can do travel stuff, they can buy stuff for their homes. What else? I think it has like music. I don't even know, you know me, I don't shop online for stuff, so I don't even have anything to compare it to here because I don't do stuff like that. But little tiny Iraq has that, and Saudi Arabia wants it. Isn't that interesting? I thought that was interesting. Yeah. So, or they want to connect and learn how to make one of their own or grow the one they have. So you could read that. That's the last article on the page. Yes. So if you're someone that doesn't like to read all the articles, you like to hear about them, but you don't want to read them, and you want to read this for yourself, you can go to the blog and just scroll all the way down. It's the last article. Okay, now I wanted to show you something else that happened for Iraq under Sudani. They opened this thing called Eagle Square. Official opening of the Eagle Square. It's tunnels and bridges, but guess what is special about it? It's lit. No, it's all lit up like a Christmas tree. And so they were out tonight, and Sudani gave this speech. I don't know what he said, but he was very relaxed. He didn't have a tie on. He had his suit on, but no tie, and he was laughing. Normally, his speeches are so boring. He's just monotone. He's standing at a podium, but I don't know what he was talking about, but he really enjoyed what he was talking about. And here are some pictures. Look, I love Iraq. Here's a tower. They're walking on the bridge. The bridge. The bridge. Uh-oh, I just did something. What did I do? Oh, okay. Yeah, so it's pretty special. So imagine capping off his day with that. Yeah. So it was a good day for Iraq. And I think I had one more thing I wanted to show you. What's this? Oh, here. Don't pay attention to the rumors. The money will be paid on time. Salaries are fully secured. So remember I said, now that they got that money, even though I'm sure they didn't get the money from the IFC like already, but they know that it's coming. So now he funded some 2,600 humanitarian programs, back paid somebody, and now they're like, oh, saying it with their chest. Don't worry, you're going to get your salary. So I knew that was going to happen because it always does. But that's good. That's good for the people. And what's this? Oh, here. I wanted to show you guys. Look how easy. So remember I told you their biometrics include all of their fingerprints. And see this right here? This is a camera. And this part right here, well, they'll sit down, but this can tilt up or they can raise this telescoping thing. And that's when they scan their face. So they just get everything. Look at that. You could pack that up in a big briefcase or a small suitcase and take that anywhere. Then you just have to have your laptop. See over there is a laptop. So that's how they can do that. They can get those people, get them on in whatever system they want in an instant. Right? So I just wanted to show you that. All right, that's it. So again, I want to thank you. I hope you found some of this stuff interesting. I know I did. And good things are happening for Iraq. Hopefully they'll translate into good things happening for us too. So we'll see. I'm pretty certain I will update tomorrow because I'm hoping the Council of Ministers meeting will give us some results that will be worth reporting. All right, so accumulate while we wait for the rate to appreciate. Don't miss any meals. Pay all your bills. Thanks for watching. Remember, oh, and if you missed yesterday's episode, stay tuned. A little square is going to pop up and you could just click that and you can watch it. And the thumbs up. Don't forget the like button. It helps me a lot and it's free. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your morning, night, noon, whatever time frame you are indulging in this content. And until next time.